A very warm welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Shanakshi Chakravarti. The top story: Sri Lanka on Tuesday said those found damaging public property or harming others could be shot after a day of clashes that killed 7 people and injured more than 200 in violence that prompted Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa to resign. Shops and vehicles torched by protesters. Pro-government protesters entered the Negombo area and tried to create communal unrest between Sinhala and Muslims. Sri Lanka Police Media Division says 8 people have died in violence on Monday. 47 vehicles were set on fire, 38 houses torched because of this violence. 41 vehicles and 65 houses have been damaged in the violent protest so far. Amid that worsening economic crisis in the island nation of Sri Lanka, a civilian uprising escalates with each day.
Well, in terms of Negombo, we understand that, as far as the people and the neighbors living in Negombo, they say that some groups and mobs entered their neighborhood and they started, in fact, vandalizing vehicles and also various shops and torching them. But it also, in fact, ended up as a communal clash between 2 different communities. Now, that was the intention and the motive of the groups who had unidentified men who had entered this particular area, Negombo area. Now, that is what especially the locals living in Negombo tell us, and especially in terms of the Sinhala and Muslim. Now, these are the 2 various communities who are living in, especially, in terms of majority of numbers living in Negombo area. But as far as the unidentified men are concerned, they tried to incite a communal clash. But however, that was the purpose was clearly defeated by the people over there. They managed to, in fact, send the people away from that particular location. Police were also summoned. Also, we understand, but however, there were several, especially vehicles and also several of the shops that were already vandalized and torched. Now, this has been on since the past, over the last 24 hours. It's not just Negombo, but various parts of the island nation, Sri Lanka. We have been witnessing not just an uprising, but arsons of sorts. Various buildings and structures have been completely destroyed, and they have been torched. And as far as the police details are concerned, they go on to say that over 100 people have also been, in fact, injured in this particular incident. As far as the police media division, in terms of the number of deaths, they also say at least about 8 deaths so far have been confirmed.
My colleague Shrija there with all the details. But India's statement on the crisis in the island nation of Sri Lanka, I quote, "As a close neighbor of Sri Lanka with historical ties, India is fully supportive of its democracy, stability and economic recovery. In keeping with our neighborhood first policy, India has extended this year alone a support worth over $3.5 billion to the people of Sri Lanka for helping them overcome their current difficulties. In addition, the people of India have provided assistance for mitigating the shortages of essential items such as food, medicine, etc. India will always be guided by the best interests of the people of Sri Lanka expressed through democratic processes." That's the statement of India on the ongoing Sri Lanka crisis. Shifting focus to news from back home in India, Kashmiri separatist leader Yasin Malik pleads guilty. Yasin Malik pleads guilty in a case related to terrorism and separatism. The JKLF leader told in an NI court in Delhi that he was not contesting charges levelled against him. Malik and several other separatists are facing charges of terrorism, terror finding and separatist. Malik can face, in fact, Yasin Malik can face life imprisonment. So that's a big breaking story coming in at this hour, that Yasin Malik the Kashmiri separatist leader has, in fact, he has pleaded guilty. I'm joined by my colleague Nazir Masoodi for more on this. Nazir, how important and significant is this news politically? What more can you share with us?
Well, legally and politically, very, very important development. Before the NIA court in Delhi, Yasin Malik pleads guilty for the allegations he is facing, like terrorism, terror funding, and separatism. He has been a militant in 90. He has picked up gun. Then he announced a ceasefire with the government of India in early 90s. He has been a separatist. There has been allegation of terror funding as well. So he is facing case under UAPA, and he is in jail for last more than 4 years. Today, before the NIA court, he pleads guilty of with the charges related to the terrorism, terror funding, and separatism, and which means he can face life imprisonment as well. And the charges have been also leveled against other separatists who are, or the former militants who are booked under UAPA by the NIA. So big development. Yasin Malik pleads guilty before the NIA court in Delhi with regard to terrorism, terror funding, and separatism. It is well known he is a separatist leader. It's well known he was a militant, but pleading guilty, saying it in front of court, he is trying to send a message, political message as well, because he has not, hired any lawyer. He is pleading his own case, not only this case but other cases as well. But it is a big development.
All right, a big development from the valley there. Yasin Malik, the Kashmiri separatist leader, pleads guilty in a terrorism case. Thanks very much, Nazir, for joining with us on that. Moving focus to sources indicating the CBI has raided 40 places, amateur officials and middlemen. A crackdown on NGOs by the CBI over foreign donations case. The raids are conducted on basis of a complaint by the Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs officials, middlemen dealing with FCRA clearances have been raided. Government officials have been accused of taking bribe. In fact, the sources have added that public officials from the Home Ministry, from NGO representatives and middlemen were caught red-handed receiving bribe for securing foreign funding clearances. 12 NGOs are under investigation, the investigation agency has cited. Shifting focus to some political news now. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi spent the day in Lahore in Gujarat for a series of pre-election events in a state that goes to polls later this year. Rahul Gandhi addressed the Adivasi Satyagraha rally in Gujarat's Lahore amid intensifying internal rift in the state Congress. Hardik Patel, the working president of the Gujarat Congress, also met Rahul Gandhi during his visit, as Rahul Gandhi met all party MLAs before meeting tribal leaders in the state. Take a look.
Hardik Patel on stage with Congress leader Rahul Gandhi. While Gandhi did not mention him in his speech, he had reached out to him a few days ago. Patel has made no bones about his tension with the Congress leadership, from describing his position as someone who has been made to undergo nasbandi of vasectomy to even deleting his Congress position in his Twitter bio. Hardik Patel, a leader from the influential Patidar community and a face of the Patidar agitation in 2017, has been pacified for now and is likely to stay in the Congress, party leaders confirmed to NDTV.
હું આપ સૌને વિનંતી કરવા માટે આવ્યો છું. આદરણીય રાહુલજી આપ સૌને સંબોધન કરશે. પ્રદેશનું સૌ નેતૃત્વ આપને વાત કહેવા માટે આવ્યો છે કે આવનારા 6 મહિનાની અંદર વિધાનસભાની ચૂંટણી આવશે અને આ વિધાનસભાની ચૂંટણીમાં દાહોદ જિલ્લાની તમામ બેઠક કોંગ્રેસ પાર્ટી જીતે અને કોંગ્રેસ પાર્ટીની ગાંધીનગરમાં સરકાર બને એવા વિશ્વાસ અને ઉત્સાહ સાથે સાથીઓ આપણે સૌએ આગળ વધવાનું છે.
Sources say that Gandhi did have a meeting with Patel in which he was promised his issues would be addressed. On stage, Gandhi supported Jignesh Mevani, who's still an independent MLA, but said will join the Congress ahead of elections this year.
यहाँ जिग्नेश बैठा है. पहली बार मैंने सुना आंदोलन करने के लिए परमिशन की जरूरत है. सिर्फ गुजरात में, और दुनिया में कोई ऐसी जगह नहीं है जहां पे भैया आंदोलन करने के लिए परमिशन की जरूरत है. 3 महीने की जेल दे दी. मगर मैं जिग्नेश को जानता हूं.
इसको आप 10 साल की जेल दे दो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला।
Mewani has not only been sentenced to jail by a court in Mehsana for organizing protests, but was also controversially arrested by the Assam police recently for comments on Prime Minister Modi. Jignesh Mewani and Hardik Patel are seen as Rahul Gandhi's proteges in the Congress's game plan in Gujarat. But of late, Hardik Patel has been openly critical of the state leadership, blaming it for the party's decline and even going on to praise the BJP. Just days ago, the Congress lost a prominent tribal leader, Ashwin Kotwal, to the BJP, a three-time MLA from a tribal seat. And in the current assembly itself, the party lost 14 MLAs, with many switching sides to the BJP. In 2017, Rahul Gandhi led the Gujarat campaign for the Congress and the party went on to win 78 seats, reducing the BJP to just double digits. But this year, the BJP took some drastic measures with a year to go before elections by changing the chief minister and the entire cabinet. And now, with the Aam Aadmi party making a foray into Gujarat, the Congress and Rahul Gandhi has the challenging task of protecting its turf in a state where it goes head-to-head with the BJP. With camera person Sanjay Mandal, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
A rocket-propelled grenade attack on Punjab's headquarters of Intelligence Department in Mohali has sparked serious security concerns for the border state. A few suspects have been taken into custody in connection with the blast that took place on Monday at Punjab Police's Intelligence Wing headquarters caused by a rocket-like fire, the police has said. Here is a report.
Shattered windows on the third floor of the intelligence wing of the Punjab Police headquarters in Mohali. No one was wounded in the attack. But the use of a rocket-propelled grenade, a weapon used rarely by terrorists in India, raises several questions. Where did this weapon come from? Pakistan? Or in fact from Afghanistan, where it has been used by the Taliban for decades?
जिन्हें भी पंजाब का माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश की थी, वो बख्शा नहीं जाऊगा, सख्त तो सख्त सजा मिलेगी.
The state government, which initially denied that this was a terror attack, says it has suspects in custody.
प्रोजेक्टाइल ने हिट किया है और उसमें जो एक्सप्लोजिव इस्तेमाल हुआ है वो TNT लग रहा है और हम इसको इस केस को सॉल्व करने के लिए पूरे कोशिश कर रहे हैं और जल्दी सॉल्व करें.
The attack happened just 3 days after the arrest of 4 suspected terrorists with improvised explosive devices in Karnal in Haryana, and nearly 2 weeks after an explosive device was found near Burel Jail in Chandigarh. There have been 3 similar attacks on police and army establishments in the state in the last 6 months. A grenade was hurled at a police station in Nawashehr on the 7th of November last year. Another grenade was thrown by motorcycle-borne assailants near the army's cantonment in Pathankot on the 21st of November. On the 9th of March 2022, the police post in Ropar on the Noorpur Bedi Nangal road was attacked, damaging its side wall. No one was injured in all these 3 attacks. The attack has created a political storm with the opposition hitting out at the Aam Aadmi Party government for the deteriorating law and order situation in Punjab.
I urge the Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah ji to intervene, depute central investigative security agencies, because clearly Aam Aadmi Party, the government, is incompetent, incapable to handle the law and order situation in Punjab and to investigate this matter seriously.
Pakistan-based terror groups have been pushing drugs, arms and ammunition through drones into Punjab through the international border. But many a times, BSF and Punjab police have thwarted their attempts. But an RPG attack on the State Intelligence Department headquarters here in Mohali is a big challenge for the state police. In Mohali, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Amit Shah at a rally in Assam has reiterated that the AFSPA will be revoked soon. He says this as he visited the state to mark the first anniversary of the Himanta Biswa government. More details in this story.
The Union Home Minister in Assam to mark the first anniversary of the Himanta Biswa Sharma government with a big political promise. The controversial Armed Forces Special Power Act will be entirely removed from the state.
मोदी जी के 8 साल के शासन के बाद स्थिति ऐसी हुई है कि आसाम के 23 जिलों में से अब सपा को पूर्ण रूप से उठाने का काम हो गया है. वो दिन दूर नहीं है कि पूरे आसाम से अब सपा को हटा पाए
The controversial Armed Forces Special Power Act of ASPA lends nearly unbridled powers to the security forces, was revoked from parts of Northeast earlier this year. In Assam, out of 33 districts, ASPA has been totally removed from 23, partially from 1, and remains imposed in 9 others. The BJP government held an anniversary rally at Guwahati, where the party has not lost a single election at any level since 2016. While praising Assam, Shah took a potshot at Bengal on illegal infiltration from neighbouring Bangladesh.
बंगाल को भी घुसपैठ रोकने का प्रयास करे हैं, आसाम में भी करे, मगर बंगाल में हमें कोई समर्थन नहीं मिलता, बहुत सफलता नहीं मिलती। आसाम सरकार घुसपैठ के खिलाफ चट्टान की तरह खड़ी है, भारत सरकार का समर्थन कर रही है।
But the opposition has called out BJP's celebration as insensitive to common man's worries.
He has finished the economy of the state. The per capita income of the state has come down lowest in the country.
The BJP's Big Bash today is being seen as politically significant as 3 northeastern states go to polls early next year. The BJP is currently in power or sharing power in 6 of the northeastern states. In Guwahati, Ratndeep Chaudhary, NDTV.